Both of my parents were born to poor families in Cuba. After his mother died, my father had to go work when he was 9 years old. My mother was one of 7 girls raised by a disabled father who struggled to provide for his family. When they were young, my parents had big dreams for themselves. But because they were not born into wealth or power, their future was destined to be defined by their past. And so in 1956, they came here to America, to the one place on earth where the aspirations of people like them could be more than just dreams.
All right, folks, that was just a very riveting portion of Marco Rubio's speech yesterday. Joining us now is Ruben Navarrette Jr., our friend, nationally syndicated columnist. Ruben, welcome, sir. So let's focus on Marco Rubio first. And I want to ask you about how that compares to Ted Cruz. But his appeal, because of course he's a Cuban American. He has a story to tell, as he did, of his parents who came from Cuba, and his state is close to Cuba. Does that resonate? Can he win? If not a majority, a significant percentage of Hispanic Americans?
Right. Steve, good to be with you again. He's not going to win a majority of the Hispanic vote because no Republican has won a majority of the Hispanic vote in a presidential election since we kept records in 1960. And even when there were some pretty mediocre Democrats, Latinos have turned out for those Democrats. But what Rubio can do, and it will do a lot of damage both to his Republican opponents in the primary and to possibly Hillary Clinton or some other Democrat in the general, is, as you say, carve out a significant percentage of the Hispanic vote, somewhere in the 30s, 30, 40%. Because he speaks not just to Hispanics, but to Americans of all colors when he talks about the transformative power of America to take you from one generation to the other. He really gets it. He really understands the point of this country. If you contrast that with Hillary Clinton, who goes around giving this aura of you people owe me, give me what's due, Rubio is not like that. I think Rubio is much stronger on messaging than Clinton is.
Right. No, I couldn't agree more. And I think he does have mass appeal. And I didn't mean to limit his appeal to Hispanics in any way, shape, or form. I was just trying to gauge, as you gave us the gauge, on his appeal to the Hispanic community, possibly. Now, how does Ted Cruz compare, again, to the Hispanic community and appeal there to that community with Rubio?
Not well. Ted, I've known a long time. I like him a lot, but he leaves a lot of money on the table. What he doesn't do is what Rubio did very well yesterday. Give us the personal narrative. Even though Ted talks about his father often coming from Cuba, he doesn't really talk about sort of how the Cruz family fits into the long narrative of immigration and how it is that immigrants benefit this country. And so he hasn't really told that story. Never told that story. And so Ted is very clearly going after policy. One way to think about this, Steve, it's like this. Ted Cruz speaks to your head, but Marco Rubio speaks to your heart. People don't vote with their head, they vote with their heart.
No, that's very interesting. Now, you mentioned Hillary Clinton. You alluded to Hillary. Because she's a Democrat, she's expected, and you just reinforced that, to get the majority of the Hispanic vote. Although let me ask you, you said not since 1960, but if Marco Rubio were at the head of a ticket, would that change the scenario whereby he could break 30, 40, and then break 50?
Wow, so it's a good question because in all those years since 1960, those 14 presidential elections, going back to 1960, you've never had a Latino on the ticket of either party. And so in that regard, it could be a game changer. Even if Marco Rubio were the VP to someone else, that could be a big deal. Walker Rubio ticket might do well. But the point here is that Marco is sort of a game changer, and I think that he is somebody that a lot of Latinos will support. 50% don't have to support him. If he gets 35, 40% of the Latino vote.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. All right, now Hillary. We don't have to talk about the Hispanic vote here, just Hillary in general. Bill Kristol was on with us earlier, and he called it the tour of talking to the peasants. I mean, here she was today, sitting there with 4 people or 5 people. That's her campaign stop, and she's going on and on and on and on and on, like giving a campaign speech. And she talks about how CEOs make too much money, and here's a woman who's a multimillionaire and charges almost $500,000 a speech.
Yeah, since leaving the White House, they didn't leave the White House. The Clintons dead broke, despite what she said. These people have earned over $100 million in speeches and book fees. Over $100 million. And you're right, Hillary Clinton makes $250,000 a speech. the real tell sign here is when someone tries this hard to be normal and everyday and ordinary, it tells you they're not.
Yeah, she goes for the coffee today. She was at the fast food place yesterday. Yeah, Chipotle. Well, I can't say it. And I mean, it's sad. It really is sad. Plus, she's the champion of the middle class when she has no connection to it.
Right. And, the whole email scandal is about the fact that she believes, I think Hillary Clinton believes a few things.
You know what, Ruben? We're going to have to end it there. My fault. I should have stopped you earlier. But thank you. Always great to talk to you. We'll talk to you soon.
You bet. Take care.
All right. We're coming back, folks. Don't go away. Jeff, don't go away.